We got my parents the best Christmas gift ever.
Which was
From the heart.
What was it? Oh, tamales?
Tamales and homemade tamales, homemade banana bread.
Right. And our presents.
This is too close to me.
And oop.
Our presents at Alan Fisher's concierto.
Well, the whole choir appreciated that.
And oop.
No.
Always.
I'm doing this so your mom won't hear it.
Are those Dr. Peppers? Yes, mother.
Text my dad.
And oop.
What's been happening with Lennox lately?
He goes to his friends every single day.
No. Got locked out of Roblox. He thought he was going to have a meltdown, right?
Yeah.
It was a calamity.
He's like, do you know how much money I've spent?
Right. I would like to know how much money
I don't want to know. I do not want to know.
I want to know how much money he spent on Roblox, and Fortnite. I want to know how much money he has spent on Fortnite.
Shoot.
And you went into Roblox and tried to go into a transaction history, but you couldn't find it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I did that a while ago, right? A couple months ago?
Yeah. I think these games, they're like vacuums with adult money that they suck up via the child.
The parents by way of the child.
Yeah. And they don't want a transaction history, because if you actually looked at Roblox and Fortnite, it'd be like hundreds of dollars. And I'm all for kids blowing money.
Are you?
Yes. Because once they blow through $50 or $200, then they'll be like, oh, I need money for Target, or I need money for more Robux or V-Bucks, which is the Fortnite currency. We'll be like, well, you spent it all. You blew $50 at Target. You blew $50 on V-Bucks, and now you don't have any, and that's...
And oop.
I hope that made it in.
It was riveting stuff.
I was spellbound myself.
You were captivated by your own voice.
So Friday night came, and it went, honey.
And oop.
So Friday night came and went, and all day Friday we texted back and forth while you were at work, while I was at work, about where to go out to eat. Because I feel like we should reward ourselves with a meal out.
Mm-hmm. Another fun thing that's a new thing in our life is that the kids are starting to be gone on the weekends a lot.
Yeah. And
so there's been a few Friday nights lately we've found ourselves childless.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, hey, let's have a little date.
As Luna calls it.
Yeah, as Luna calls it.
Yeah.
So we've been leaving the house and venturing outside together.
Yeah. So last night, Friday night, Luna actually went to her first dance. It was very exciting.
Oh my gosh.
The dress she wore, slay girl.
So cute.
Super cute. And
black sparkly thingy.
Yeah. And then you gave her shoes.
She wore my wedding shoes, actually.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The shoes I wore to our wedding, and they haven't been worn since, and they might not be worn again.
Oh my goodness. Actually, Luna.
What?
Did Abby wear Nikes to the dance?
Yeah.
Slay.
I think they were Nikes.
Yeah. Because you were like, hey, go with Converse, right?
Yeah, because I have a pair.
Chucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you have right. You have a pair of Chucks.
And I thought her feet would hurt being in heels all night because she isn't used to wearing heels.
Right.
But she went with the heels.
Yeah.
And she slayed.
She slayed, but her friend Abby wore Nikes, and we saw pictures of the gals ready for their night out on the town. And I thought Nikes would slay, Chucks would slay, her heels slay, her wedding heels that she borrowed from you slayed. But last night we were like, we're gonna go out to eat because it's Friday night. Just got paid Friday night.
We did get paid.
Yeah. We want, and I wanted to go somewhere because, well, another thing was that like Lennox was out, Luna was out, so we had to well, you had to be sober to drive to grab them, to retrieve them, to reacquire them. So it was like, well, we can't drink, let's go out to eat. You wanted a wrap.
Right. Well, yes.
You were desirous of a wrap.
Desirous? Desirous?
Yes.
Delirious?
Yes.
I wanted a Subway wrap specifically.
Yeah.
But then you wanted to go somewhere. You didn't want a fast food chain location.
Fast cash. Yeah. And, well, we have a queue, bunch of restaurants that we want to go to. And the most rap friendly is Lanice's Cafe. Well, actually, it came down to Lanice's versus Capital Euros.
That's Gyro.
Yeah. And capitals with the O. And Capital Euros. Well, first of all, they used to be called Hefty Burger, which I think is a super fun name. Hefty Burger.
Hefty's a fun word.
Yeah. But I think in Capital Euros, it's like they named it from like a committee or some Disney executives came up with that Capital Euro. It's so generic and boring and plain.
Some suits.
Yeah. Some empty, vacuous suits who don't want to take any risk. But Hefty Burger, maybe people didn't like going there because they think, oh, they're body shaming.
It's a fun name, but it does sound like kind of greasy and like,
yeah,
you don't know what you're getting there.
Right. And maybe
not good quality, maybe.
Maybe the customer who may be hefty, thick, THICC, would be like, oh, I don't want to go there. I want to go, because that would be admitting that they are thick or they are hefty. And as someone who used to be really thick and hefty and is currently sort of thick and hefty.
Oh, stop. I have a friend who is older than me. She's around age 50.
Okay.
And she struggled her whole life with like eating disorders and like body issues. But
Same girl.
Something she told me is back when she was a youngin',
yeah.
I think she was a youth or a teen like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Because she's a bit older than me.
Okay.
But she said back in the day, like, clothing options in clothing stores was very narrow. There wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
And if you were your body shape was out of the norm. It was like so hard to shop. So she is so traumatized from going shopping, and all of the clothes she had to buy were labeled hefty.
Wow.
Like she was in middle school.
Ooh,
and it was like hefty jeans, and she'd have to shop. This
is pre-Lizzo. Okay.
Just like back.
That's bad.
You know, nowadays there's so many shopping issues. Yeah, so
yeah.
she's written like essays and like articles about like her journey with eating disorders and body issues. But like, yeah. So when I hear the word hefty, I always think of like her hefty pants that she'd have to wear back in the 70s.
Well, it reminds me of when I was a larger man. I would have to buy clothes at. It wasn't called the Big and Tall store. It was called Casual Male XL. Like, I'm casually an extra large, but in reality, I was buying 3XL and 4XL because that's all that would fit me. But the brand, the moniker, the marketing was like, you're just casually XL. Like, you'll get back to medium. You'll get back to large, bro. But meanwhile, shopping this large and tall, big and tall store, very depressing. I need to know who. Oh, I think it's. Actually, I know who you're talking about. Do I? Really? Well, who are you? Why are you associating with women 15 year your senior, darling?
My best friends are 10 to 20 years older than me. Okay? I'm an old soul.
You're an old soul.
Apparently.
Yes. So we chose Lanice's because we're trying to be on track. Hefty Burger / Capital Euros has French fries.
Right. We wanted to avoid the deep fryer.
Yeah. I said, and if we went to Capital Euros, I would have hated myself. I would have loved myself while consuming their hefty burgers and their seasoned French fries. But post haste, I would have hated myself, and I would have been spiraling and clutching onto my pearls.
So we don't want a spiraling Vince. Trust me.
Well, Vince is always spiraling. Let's be honest, Annie. We chose Lanice's Cafe. So what do we know about Lanice's Cafe? It's very community oriented. Luna, who took a photography class one summer, they had their award ceremony there.
Yeah, their end of year celebration.
Yeah, so we descended upon Lanice's, and the gal's name, who...
April? Her teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, her teacher is April.
Handed out awards, and it was twofold. Like, Lanice's could get business because we wouldn't ordinarily go there, but on the other hand, they were part of the community, and a bunch of people showed up who wouldn't normally go there for an event. So that's how we know Lanice's. It's off the beaten path. It's far down Jefferson. Like, we don't traffic down there. We don't like to go down there. It's the wild hinterlands, the lawless tribal region of West Sacramento. But, well, there were no fries, but maybe that's a good thing because we're trying to be on track. It's the holidays. We have to take our family Christmas picture in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've put it off.
We delayed it a week. We're just being honest here. And we've been there a few times. Actually, the first time we were new to West Sacramento, and we got takeout, and they serve breakfast. They serve all sorts of stuff, but we got hot breakfast, and we ate it in our car.
It was COVID times,
yeah.
So they didn't have any indoor dining. That's what was going on there.
Right. And you weren't a fan?
I couldn't finish my burrito. I got a breakfast burrito, and it was cold, and the peppers and the onions were giant, raw, chops of green onion and veggie and green or like white onion, but just like giant raw chops of them. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I couldn't, and it was cold, and there wasn't anything else going on.
Yeah. My thing was either a scramble or an omelet. Well, I ate it in the car, which is all you need to know about me. But I honestly, it was 2+ years. I don't remember much about it. But we wanted to be on track. We wanted to eat healthy, be quote unquote healthy. So we're like, Lanice's,
we wanted to willing to give it another shot.
Right. So the headline is that Lanice's Cafe is hospital/school cafeteria level food. It's not good.
It's so disappointing.
It's hecka disappointing because...
And I feel like comparing it to school and cafeteria food is an insult to those institutions.
Oh, dear.
Because as everyone knows, I have a very low, like, my expectations with food are low.
Yeah.
I can eat and enjoy, like, the most atrocious things. I'll eat and enjoy a lot of crappy food.
Yeah.
And I've had excellent hospital food. Yes. I love airplane food.
Really?
I love airplane dinners. I've had great, fond memories of school cafeteria foods.
It gets a bad rap, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It can be good.
When I was pregnant, well, the only time I've been hospitalized is when I've given birth.
Okay.
But, I'm there for a couple nights, so I got, like, a warm dinner.
Yeah.
It was good. I cleared my tray. So I feel like I don't like comparing it to those things because I enjoyed that food. Yeah. I did not enjoy any food I've ever eaten from Lanice's. Yeah. It's hard for me to articulate why because I can't think of anything to compare it to. Yeah. All you need to know is it's giant raw chunks of vegetables.
Yeah.
And not the good kind of giant raw chunks of vegetables.
Yeah.
And both times we've been there, that's been like a consistent thing.
Yeah. When I make you breakfast, because I know this about you, I try to put the pepper, like if we have a scramble, an egg scramble with peppers, I put the peppers in first to wilt them down.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, to soften them up. I myself, I could go either way. Like the soft peppers I dig, but I also dig raw vegetables in a scramble / omelet. But I know you, my lady friend, my woman, you like it grilled down, like softened up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, I'll take some raw veggies, but some are not acceptable in that form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ordered a turkey panini, and honey, you ordered what?
A turkey pesto wrap.
Yeah. You were feeling the wrap.
And oop.
So honey, you got the what wrap?
Turkey pesto.
Turkey pesto. I got the turkey panini. Yours was grilled, right? They put some grill marks on there?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't know. So, honey, what did you get?
I got a turkey pesto wrap.
Okay. I got a turkey panini. And first off, my panini was small. There was nothing going on. There was a couple slices of deli sliced turkey that like you could buy it like Oscar Mayer turkey or whatever. You could buy it at the grocery store. There was nothing going on. Very slim pickings, very few slices. There was also tomato, which was fine, but there was one slice of tomato. And then when they do the panini press on it, like it gets flattened. So there's less tomato. And I like tomato. So maybe, how about throw on 2 slices of tomato on there? Go crazy, because you know the panini is going to crush the tomato contents. There was some pesto on there, which, okay, was fine. Swiss, which I should have said no Swiss, but I wanted some cheese, but I don't like Swiss. It tastes stinky. It is stinky. And then it was on sourdough. There was a lot of bread. There was a massive amount of carbs. But as far as the turkey, the Swiss, the tomato, very little of anything. And so I was like, I'm eating a bunch of bread with very little meat, very little cheese, very little vegetables. Yeah, it was not bussin'. And I asked for onions because I like onion. I'm an onion kind of guy. So I said, can you add onions? They were like, yeah. But it turns out they were diced onions. Like, what the hell? Like, you don't put diced onions on a sandwich.
No, you do not.
Because I found myself eating my bread sandwich, and there were little pieces of onions falling everywhere. And so I had to go up to the counter and get a spoon, and I ended up spooning up a bunch of diced onion pieces, which I'm not against, but why not slice onions?
Yeah.
So you get the long circular pieces.
That's what literally every other place in the world who makes sandwiches does.
Yeah.
I've never seen a sandwich that doesn't have sliced onion.
It was very odd. But yeah, the turkey was low rent. There was one tomato. The cheese soaked, again, from the supermarket, just like the turkey.
And it was tiny. It was teeny, teeny, tiny.
Yeah. Mucho bread. How do you say? Hey, Google. How do you say bread in Spanish? Pan.
In Spanish, that's pan de molde. Anything else you want me to translate?
No.
May I point out that your resume says you're fluent? Your resume says you're fluent in Spanish. May I?
Well, my resume says I can speak Spanish, but
No!
I can't write it
I think
nor
it says
understand
fluent.
it. Pan.
That's French, like pain au chocolat.
Oh, really?
I think.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, France and Mexico are very close.
They're both Latin-based languages.
Yes, Latin. Let's go to our appetizer. We got bruschetta.
The most disappointing of all. Here we go.
So the bruschetta and
bruschetta, you mean?
As some people pronounce it, bruschetta. There was a little pesto on it.
Bruschetta is not supposed to have pesto. Can we start there?
Yes, we can.
So our bruschetta had pesto.
Yes, queen.
Melted mozzarella.
Yes.
Diced tomato and diced onion on top. Yeah. And the bread, everything was cooked.
It's wrong on all levels.
Everything was wrong about it. The bread was soggy because it had gone in the little toaster oven. Not even that.
Microwave.
That would have been crispier. It must have been like a microwave contraption that they used because it was soggy and soft.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we looked it up earlier, and I've watched Food Network for a decade of my life. But starting with bruschetta, it's sliced baguette, but they toast it. So just from the jump, they toast the bread, and then sometimes, if you're feeling yourself, if you want to get crazy, you rub garlic into this toasted baguette because pieces of garlic get in there, a little garlic nectar gets in there. And then there's a second part of bruschetta, which is sort of like an Italian salsa. It contains tomato, basil, Parmesan cheese.
They sprinkle Parmesan, yeah.
Parmesan cheese, balsamic vinegar.
Bit of olive oil. Salt, pepper. So that's what bruschetta actually is. That's what we were expecting.
Yeah. But what I'm reading from Lenice's Cafe's menu, bruschetta is defined as tomato. Okay, you got me a tomato. Onion, what? And I like onion. And at first I was like, oh, this is a mistake because I asked for onion on my panini. So I was like, oh, well, they mistakenly put onion on this bruschetta, which is fine. I like onion. But then I looked at the menu and onion is...
It's part of it. That was not a mistake.
Yeah.
It's there on the menu, which... My bad. I didn't even look at the menu.
Yeah. Pesto, which isn't, again, traditionally part of bruschetta.
No.
And I say this watching thousands of hours of Bobby Flay and Mario Batali, who's been canceled. There's pesto on there, which that's fine. It's not traditional, but I like pesto. And mozzarella cheese. No, it's Parmesan. Shaved Parmesan with the tomato and the basil and the balsamic, olive oil, salt, pepper, none of that. So they slice up a baguette, they throw some cheese on it, they throw it in a microwave / toaster, and then they just throw some diced tomato on there and onion, and they're like, this is bruschetta.
No, it ain't.
And I'm all for doing different things, try different takes on a traditional dishes, but this was just like...
That's the thing. Okay. You and I are not you and I are not food snobs.
Correct.
Like, our palates are not refined.
Right.
Me especially. So if I'm complaining about something, then you know it's bad.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about authenticity.
Yeah.
I mean, I love me a Tostino's frozen pizza.
Yes. Oh.
For example.
Whirl.
I mean, like, I literally will eat anything.
Yeah.
So, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it was so different from bruschetta. You should have named it bread with tomatoes and melted cheese.
It was so soft and soggy.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even toasty bread. It was just...
Yeah. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't bruschetta. It was bread with some tomato and onion on it. A little pesto, a little mozzarella, but overall, huge miss. The bruschetta was not bruschetta.
The third and final disappointment.
Yes.
Of our, what was supposed to be a romantic and beautiful, magical date night.
Yeah, as Luna calls it, a datey date.
A datey date night.
Your wrap.
I had a wrap.
And it was turkey pesto wrap.
Yeah.
And it comes on like a special tortilla. It was like
you had the choice of like spinach or flour or
tomato.
sun-dried tomato. I chose sun-dried tomato.
Okay.
So I picked it up, and it's like it's hollow. Like it's very unfilled.
Yeah.
There's
some romaine in there, but romaine is just throwaway lettuce. It's fine, but it can't fill a man or a woman.
When you eat a wrap, or like even just picture in your mind a wrap, it's full.
Yes.
Like it's
bursting. There's tons of stuff going on.
It's firm. Like you can hold it in your hand, and there's no room. There's no air.
Oh, I know about firm. Am I right, honey? Just kidding.
So I was holding it. This thing was like less than 50% filled with fillings.
Yeah.
So
you would have to go to Les Schwab and be like, my tire's low, my wrap is low.
I ended up ripping up so much tortilla.
Yeah.
Because the tortilla itself I didn't want to just eat it without a dip or any sort of filling.
Oh yeah.
So I had all this tortilla scraps left on my plate.
Yeah, at the end of your dining experience, you just had a bunch of tortilla remnants, red tortilla,
scraps,
collateral damage.
It was just like there was like a piece of turkey, a spread of pesto,
and again the turkey is bad. It was the same low rent turkey that I had.
A few pieces of lettuce. They bought a bag of lettuce at Dollar Tree,
romaine,
or great grocery outlet.
Yeah,
it was a bagged lettuce, and they literally took a few like chopped pieces of romaine out of it.
I would have appreciated that romaine on my pathetic Sammy.
I was so depressed.
Yeah. We were both depressed.
And on top of that...
Yes.
Yes,
girl.
It's a very small dining area.
It is.
And the Lanises, like we said, like they're big in the community, which is fabulous.
Lots of events, lots of painting, and...
They have like painting night, like you go there. So they were having a charcuterie board class.
Right.
So they were trying to like set up the tables for 15 people who were attending this class.
Yes.
So these two ladies... They couldn't figure out like
one
the best. One of
them may have been Lanice.
We think one was Lanice.
Yeah, the one with the bedazzled blue jeans.
They were trying to figure out the best way to assemble these tables for a class. So scrapes, like the sound of like a chair and table scraping.
Yeah.
So they did like 4 different attempts of like how should we assemble these tables and chairs.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you and I are less than a foot away because this space is so tiny.
We're trying to be on a datey date. Right.
We're trying to have some romance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lanice is the reason why we didn't have Boom Boom this morning. Oh, wait, we had it.
Honey.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alan and Liz.
What the heck?
Yeah. So the cafe itself, the space, isn't big. And they're setting up these tables for an event so people can all like look at each other or whatever. They can all assemble charcuterie boards. But like they're moving around tables, like, and they're moving around chairs, and they're like literally blocking my path. Like I couldn't walk. I wanted to get over here, and there's a lady trying to set up a chair, and she was like just completely ignorant to my presence. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna wait for this lady to set up a chair.
Yeah, it was awkward trying to get in line to order our food.
Oh, yeah. It's not clear. Yeah.
The lady kept moving around, and we were trying... There's no space to get to the cashier.
Right.
And they were just so... They were unfriendly.
Right. They were completely just oblivious to us trying to order, trying to move around, trying to get to our table.
Did not care. And then we were sitting down, finally, eating our food.
Yes, queen.
And it was 15 minutes till the start time of the charcuterie class.
Yes.
And a woman came in.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, I'm early."
Yeah.
And the lady who was still setting up the chairs said, "Oh, it's fine." And I was like, "What?" Why?
Yeah, lack of warmth, lack of just hospitality.
Like, why wouldn't you say like, "Oh, welcome."
Yeah.
Glad you're here. Go ahead and order some food or a drink if you'd like.
Give me a sec. We're still setting things up.
She's like, it's fine. And then the lady just went in the corner and sat down and
stared at her telephone.
It was the ambiance sucked.
Yeah.
The service sucked. The food sucked.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm so easy to please.
You are.
The bar is low with us.
Give us something to nosh on, and we'll nosh, yo. But yeah. And speaking of our table had a leg. So there's 4 legs to a table, kids. Okay. And one leg was 3 inches shorter than the other 3. So it was constantly wobbling and knocking back and forth. And I listen, I'm a big chunky boy. Okay. I'm thick. THICC.
Are you hefty?
No. But that's another issue. But so I would sit down and I would put my weight on this table to sort of balance myself, support myself as I sat in this chair multiple times because I had to get up. I had to get us a fork and napkins and all this stuff. But every time I went back to our table to sit down, put my weight on the table, clonk, 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 like napkins nearly falling down. Ketchup bottles nearly falling down. I was like, what the hell? And I know you can put something to support the 4th leg of this table, but I was like, well, they know about this table. Like, they've cleaned this table before. I assume they've cleaned this table before. And it was just long, wonky, chonky, thonky. It was just like, what? I'm not going to fix your table. I'm not going to fix your table, Lenise. I'm sorry, my saliva went everywhere. It was just like, what is going on here? This table sucks.
It was I feel like our marriage suffered.
What?
Like this evening affected our. It was such a bad night.
Yeah.
Like we personally suffered.
Yeah.
It did the opposite of what a date night should do for a married couple.
Yeah.
And we're still recovering today, 24 hours later.
Yes, we're literally shaking. We're clutching our pearls. We're spiraling. The moving of the tables, lots of noise and commotion. And initially, like, I thought the table was just, I thought it was my strength, honey, because I lift. I'm really strong. So I was like, oh, I'm knocking this table.
You're like, I broke the table.
Hither to and fro, I broke the table. But no. It was a bad table. And that's fine. But you either got to shove some sort of cardboard or a bunch of napkins under the 4th leg, or you got to get rid of the table, Lenise. Well, the only positive is that the radio played Norah Jones, honey. Do you remember her?
Love her.
Ravi Shankar's daughter, is that right?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know why I didn't come.
I waited till I saw the sun.
I waited till you had a table with 4 legs that worked. Don't know why I didn't come. Well, we know why we're not coming anymore.
We ain't coming no more.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
We've now been there 3 times.
Yes.
Never again.
Never again. And it has a fond place in the heart of many West Saxons.
Yeah.
Many West Sacramento residents. The average review is 4 stars on Yelp. There's several 5 stars.
That's Lenise and her friends and family going up there. And
they're in on it.
Well, I think the people
they're getting free subpar paninis.
Yeah. The people who go there know Lenise. And they like her, and I'm sure she's a great person in real life.
Yeah.
So I think people go there and like drink wine. They're not eating the bruschetta.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
They're drinking the wine.
Yeah.
I think it's an alcohol heavy friendly place. So people go there and they chill and they're Lenise's friends and family.
Yeah, and Lenise is like, go on Yelp and write a 5-star review. And they're like, okay, another bottle of Shardy, please. Alrighty. So listen, we for the most part, if we have a mid experience or a crappy experience, we don't pot about it because we're not out here trying to bring negativity to the world. There's enough negativity, okay?
Yeah.
In the world, on the internet. But Lenise, so well, just recently we went to Jefferson Bar and Grill, which is now closing, by the way. But we had not
a mediocre meal.
Mid. And Oscars, which I would classify as fine.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, we don't talk about if we just have a meh experience because there's so many people out there, a lot of haters out there. Okay, I mean I don't mean to channel Puff Daddy from 1998, but there's so many haters out there, man. But we try to be positive because we want people to enjoy these establishments.
Yeah. And usually even after we eat at some place that's like underwhelming, there's still good things to be said.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we wasted our time or money.
Right. Yeah.
But that was not the case at Lenice's.
Yeah. So for a bread panini and a romaine wrap and some bruschetta that is not bruschetta.
Some soggy non-bruschetta.
Our tab was $26. You tip $4. So it was total about $30. Just super overpriced, super underwhelming. And yeah, that's what happened. What happened was
that was our experience. We lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never go back. And that's fine. If people want to enjoy it or lie to themselves, or if Lenice wants to continue to funnel alcohol for positive Yelp reviews, by all means, have at it. But we're done. We're done, honey. Are we done, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. Lenice's no bueno. Oh, bye.